Since we're focusing on the issue of nutrition, I will also follow what our Honorable has just shared. I will link in, because you're already set in a mode. She talked of non-communicable diseases, and there is really great need to primarily manage through diet the foods we have them, but I would add on, not process them. Use them as they are. If you get potatoes, eat them as they are. Long ago, we may cook them, but we may not remove the peel. I started from the UK, and I'll never forget during orientation time when we were taken to the dining hall and were given potatoes. I just noted that I was the only one with the peel, had removed the peel, and everybody else had eaten them. That's when I learned that they eat the peel, because what we peel off goes with nutrition. Nutrition is just next to the skin. So we need to get into the habit of washing these potatoes so that they're very clean. And I'm sure you must also...
Are they sweet or not?
No, the Irish potatoes. But the sweet ones, still, we grew up in our homes. For me, I had a chance of seeing my great-grandparents, and the peel would be left on, and it would just be taken off with the hand. So that shiny bit is full of nutrition, but when we are peeling, we peel it off. So we have a challenge of processed foods in the country, because the sellers will not sell something that will not attract buyers. But the day we start buying fiber-rich foods, the day we start going for brown rice, people who towards Zimbabwe, there are those depots where you find rice, and it's categorized, the white, the brown, so when we start asking for particular foods, we shall also see the dynamics out there changing. Because we go for polished white rice, white bread, everything is white. And when it comes to wheat, I think majority wheat is imported. When you follow the Russia-Ukraine war, you realize that these were, I think, great growers of these things. But those great big economies do embrace GMOs. So we end up eating some of such things that are not easy to integrate in our systems, and we end up with diseases we cannot explain. So it ends up showing us we have cereals on our market, like millet, sorghum, and those are full of iron and enriching. And some studies, when you read around, they talk of communities that live for long, but they are using millet. It takes us even as further into processing food. Those cereals, when fermented, they are even easier to integrate into the system, and very easy, especially in situations where our people are sick. So when we say foods around us, we go into the detail of how have they been processed and how have they been cooked. We've seen, if you get into any restaurant here, if you go behind and you see how they cook the food, you'll be alarmed to see it's cooked in kadeya, kavera. One time I entered a restaurant and got a pack of rice, this takeaway. Opening it, there was an earring, a big one. So those are, food may be good, but the condition in which it is, by the time it reaches you, the silver packings, are they the best? The foil, aluminium foil. You've seen people matoke putting it in foil. You may eat a little, you may eat a little bit of it. Same with even some of our drinks, where they have these silver, like you've seen Guinness. You have to, it's opened, and that silver gold thingy, you have to care. You may just swallow it, and it starts off a series of things. So the non-communicable diseases stemming from food, that where we really need to link into this curriculum, because the world over, I understand medical schools never used to give nutrition as a serious course. And the intention, of course, it links to big pharma, the pharmaceuticals, And again, when you read around in developed countries, well, even if somebody would mentor you into nutrition, one would ask, who is going to pay me for the time? So they will not tell you that. It goes down to other avenues of teaching ourselves, and that's why this Nature Heals platform is one of those that can do those things that are not examined, getting to really teach us. So, Honorable, you mentioned processed foods like sausages. Yes, when you read around, like propagators of cancer, that is mentioned. Those processed foods, why they have additives, things to make them taste nice. When you get to chemistry, those chemicals, when they sing around, those something, I'll not mention the name for purposes of not jeopardizing people's businesses, but they say that cube, put it in the beans and it will taste like meat. Why do you want me to have beans taste like meat? People can even like visit.
We fall for it.
Somebody gives you beans and apologizes. I'm sorry. Haven't you noted that? Sorry to give you beans. Somebody gives you very good beans. Maybe you've bumped into a home and you visit and they give you this. They feel so sorry they've given you beans. We need to see that disappearing, yeah? So those additives that make that taste so nice, we need to think the nitrosamines in chemistry, these are cancer-causing chemicals, but they make the food taste very nice. But we have equivalents in nature. Like there's a spice called curry. It's curry leaves. Wherever you find an Indian, you'll find a curry plant outside. It's really, really nice when you mix it in food. It's as if you put cow ghee. For those who love cow ghee, those who don't eat cow ghee can use that one. The taste is very nice, and there are other spices we can discover which can make our food taste nice and pull out the originality of tasting, because these other chemicals, they mask, and then before you know, you are addicted. Yeah, so, but another culprit in terms of propagating cancer are the fizzy drinks. The fizzy drinks, because apart from the very much sugar that's in there, they really cause acidity, a lot of it in our systems. And there we can turn our systems alkaline through taking chlorophyll naturally. Chlorophyll can be taken with intention. You can do smoothies. A smoothie, basing in yogurt, you can fortify it with any green stuff like nakati. Avocado is very good. It even has vitamin E, and it can even make you feel satisfied. Personally, I'm diabetic. The challenge, diabetic in terms of high sugar, and our challenge as people with high sugar, we get hungry very quickly. You've had a meal, and then shortly you are hungry. And when you look around, when you enter the supermarket, what hits you? Donuts, chapati, what? For me, when I enter the supermarket, I hardly see anything useful, yeah? Apart from the fruits, because most things have been made from this wheat. And this wheat, when you read around, it's not the wheat of long ago. This was modified to feed the growing population. So it breaks quickly into sugar, and you get into the sugar highs. So you see the donuts, and then there is even sugar on top, and then the cakes and the icing. When you see this bridal expo, the big cakes there, apart from the icing, then the colors, the black color. Okay, there are natural colors we can pick. We have what we call color chemistry, and people should learn this chinzari. I could also go for the yellow color there. But when I see the colors, I get worried. Where are these colors from? They make, and people have to eat all these birthdays when middle-aged. For me, when you're celebrating or want to give me a cake for a birthday now, my age, I want a salty cake. And it can be there. But you find all day, when it comes to Christmas time and in churches, like they are thinking of the poor people, the elderly, let's pull food for them. What do they take? Sugar, Blue Band, even when you're in this, a social club, we tell them banangi. Let's take useful things. So we need to think through, what should we take? And we need to mentor the elderly, because they've grown up, they've really aged because maybe they ate well, but now they are sort of in a time where they need help, and we give them all the wrong things. We've read of people buying your parents boda. They were walking and robust, and now we're making them walk seated, and that kind. It's from lack of that knowledge. So this eating, still I agree, it's very, very useful, but per category there is what you should go for. If you're below 30, yeah, you still need lots of these high energy carbohydrates. What are they? Cassava, sweet potatoes, matoke, whatever. But above that, you start converting what you call your food. Above 50, let what you call sauce be your food. I've seen this in Asian countries, South Korea, India. You have 50 and above. Your beans. Sort out which beans. When you go to Owino market, it has a diversity. The northern region here has richness in terms of beans, but we stick in our minds only some form of bean. But if you go for those small beans, there is what we call lentils.
The green ones.
Green, yellow,
very small.
Orange, lentils. They are packed with protein, better than even meat. So you lessen the meat, because meat is fiberless. It makes cement in your system, leads to constipation, and then colorectal cancer begins with a congested colon. So these lentils, they are so tasty, and they cook quickly. Now you can put in some garlic. You put in, even some calito chili. We need to learn to eat chili. Most Ugandans don't eat chili. They say it will cause ulcers, but it will even treat ulcers. You start small. You can put all that you feel you want and have it as a dish. You may throw in an egg or half a finger of banana, tiny, but have the other one as a main body. If you have a sick person out there, make that soup. In that soup, like we have this mukene, people eat fish, but hide their garlic. Put all those virungo and let somebody, flood the body with that, all this spinach. And then the tea, same thing, and the smoothies. And once we rotate around that, even if it comes to you needing medicine, you will just go on that 7-day course and that's it. Not the issue of going back and they upgrade you and then they upgrade you. And then here we have challenges of self-medication. Self-medication would not be bad. I'll compare this to the South African setting. Honorable, you talked of them developed in Habo. I also noted it. They're at a level where you enter a pharmacy and you find a full section branded self-medication. You go there, they'll take your names and details and ask why you've come for Habo. Then they'll get to know what you're suffering from, and they'll have about a variety of 5 to pick from, which means the country has researched and come out with 5 different ones working maybe on flu, and they will map you according to what you've told them. They give you. Then eventually in their database, I believe they will track health-seeking behaviors. Who is using what they after, and out of that, the country can develop a therapy and take it to another level. Here, I'm a board member NDA, but I know there are Bolango which are passed on to. Don't self-medicate. People will always self-medicate. Because when you think of what's medicine, right from the tea you take, the coffee you take, they are medicines, yeah? Only that people don't know. People will even say, I'm born again, I don't touch medicine. But we are busy taking tea and coffee, yeah? By the way, we also have at the moment flooded in the system of what we call, if you've met people selling stem cells, and they're very, very expensive. For me, what I do as a researcher, I try to look at what alternative can people go with, so that, because if I'm told a dose for 7 days is 250,000, that is a bit too much. Stem cell, what is stem cell? When we are born, like egg and sperm come together, first fuse and make one big cell, and it starts dividing, and differentiation into different organs takes place. Some cells remain undifferentiated, and they are kept in the bone marrow, or some bits of the body. These are the spare ones. When you get injured, they are deployed to, through signaling to refresh. That's why we don't know what's happening inside us, but certain things happen and you are renewed. Your eye, since you are born, has been renewed many, many times. But as we get old, these systems go down, the cells are sleeping, and stem cells, okay, those that they're selling highly are made from fruits, they are to reawaken these. But what is in nature that can do the same? There are those plants or foods that are known to awaken stem cells. One of them is coffee. Coffee, not the over-processed, the local coffee, like the Ugandan coffee.
You get the bean and grind it.
You can eat the bean, you can grind direct. It will awaken those stem cells and they go on repairing. By the time you see your eye in bad shape, repairs have happened many, many times without your knowledge. But you can strengthen this through that. Another thing that can do that is chocolate, dark chocolate, that bitter one. But we normally go for sweet chocolate, so now look for the dark one. On the local market here, I know people who process chocolate and don't, it's like coffee. You can chew it and awaken those. And broccoli is that other thing that can awaken those stem cells. Spirulina, this is the green stuff you see in your chidomol at home, that green coating inside. That is spirulina. But of course, using it like that, it could be contaminated. But we can have projects of growing spirulina. It's sold as supplement. These most supplements from China we can use, but think of doing our own things. Once, if I say spirulina, so when you find people, I have ever encountered people in certain local setting there, and these people shared with me. One shared have HIV. They even said they are no longer taking, I'm not saying they should not take medicine, but this was sharing. And they showed me the green stuff there. They are taking, yeah. And you could see the energy.
I understood it. Seems like as if algae.
Yeah, that one, algae.
That's
In Kongi. It is, when you read the Bible, it's one of the very first plants that were created, unicellular. But in that cell, there's everything. But here we get it. Chinese, these supplements, you hear they are announcing themselves Fu Hang, Tianxi, they are selling those things because they find a gap here, a gap of not linking. For me, in the sector, I've embraced those products as people who wanted to know the high end, but use while thinking of reverse technology.